right, we're on the second try. Sorry about that. I'm just throwing the device aside. Hey, what's up, Jules OG with the first? All right, guys. I switched to a different device. That's the second time this week that that device has done that to me. It just completely crashes on a live stream and it will not come back. Usually, at least when it crashes, you can hit restart or something, and it'll come back on the same stream that we were on. But that's a 5G device right there that I was using, the Samsung S20 5G, and it gets, from what I've seen, excellent quality live streams out of the 5G as opposed to the 4G device. But that's the second time, so we've switched to the 4G device to do the rest of this live stream. 5G is for mind control. You know, that's all right. All of that stuff, you may be right, you may be wrong, but until we get past the point where people are under the impression that they have the right to violently rule other people, looks perfect now. The revolution will be televised. What's up, FTP? All right, sorry, we'll get back to it. Did you guys hear the part about Batusai? This is Batusai's channel, Batusai's video. We were talking about, hey, what's up, Pikes Peak? James always dropping knowledge. And Frames, right? And Frames. Ex Bootlicker, what's up, man? It was good to see you earlier today in the Anarchast. But I was just talking on the last stream about how, you know, gosh, sometimes I'm wondering, why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I making any change? You know, am I being effective at accomplishing anything? Ba-to-sai. Ba-to-sai? Says HBO Matt. Ba-to-sai. Well, and people keep jumping in and saying, oh, unless you sue, this is never going to stop. Unless you sue, this is never going to stop. One, I'll mention a couple of things to you. Like I was mentioning on the last stream, that's easier said than done. Most of the time, lawyers won't help you sue. They're not going to do it. And so your option is to do it yourself. And if you've ever tried to deal with federal court, we aren't talking about just walking in and bringing forth a case where you say, hey, I think somebody wronged me. And they say, okay, let's lay the evidence on the table and talk about it. Like, that's not actually how it works, okay? Their system is intentionally so complex that the average human being cannot navigate it, all right? When you see people who try to navigate it themselves, like Eric Brandt is actually an incredibly intelligent individual. He even ends up using a lawyer for most of his federal lawsuits. He fights a lot of his criminal stuff on his own, but I don't know for sure. I'd have to ask him, but I don't know if Eric's ever filed his own federal lawsuit, but I think that he's got a lawyer who does all of them. It's just not realistic for you to go in and try to play ball in their court. The rules are extremely complex. You are going to spend your entire life studying and learning how to do it. And then when you're done studying and learning how to do it, like people like CJ Grisham are doing, who's going to school for years to learn how to do it, what you end up doing is you end up finding out that it's all shit. I mean, crap, I cussed. I was supposed to bleep out the S word and I bleeped out the bull instead. You're going to find out that it's all bull crap. Anyways, but let's say it's totally realistic to be able to sue the government every time they violate your rights. Let's say that that's totally realistic. All right. Let's take a look at someone who has successfully sued the government and what the results have really been over time. This is the Batusai. Anyways, Matt's going to be mad at me for saying it wrong again. And I'm not going to show this whole video, but I'm going to show kind of where it started. And then I'll put the link to his video in the description so that you guys can go over there and check out really the best part of this video, which is the court ruling. But he's out in Fort Worth, Texas. He's recording at a police station, okay? And these pigs come up.
Got your ID with you?
And do the typical pig thing. You got your ID with you. They got ID fetishes, right? They never want to tell you who they are. They always want to come up and know who you are. This tyrant's a little close. This tyrant's a lot close. Intimidation attempts. So the audio on this is really low too. So I am talking over it and I'm going to narrate it because the audio is super low. But they're saying, hey, we want your ID because we saw you recording outside of a law enforcement facility. This is the birth of the Fifth Circuit case law, Turner versus Driver. It comes from this incident right here. Turner versus Driver. So they're asking for his ID, and he says, why do you want my ID? And they're saying, well, you're outside of a law enforcement facility. You got a camera. We need your ID, blah, blah, blah. Same old cop explaining. He keeps... Eventually, they say, all right, we're going to do violent stuff to you. Not because the law says we can, because there's absolutely no law that you're suspected of breaking, but you look like a pretty docile guy who's not going to shoot us in the face. We're going to do violent stuff to you to get our way. Again, not because the law says we can, just because we feel like it. So they put him in handcuffs. He's still not giving ID. Now Philip Turner, he knows what he's doing. All right, I don't believe he has his ID with him because they're digging through his pockets. Now they're doing an unlawful search. They have no reason to detain him. They have no reason to arrest him. They have no reason to ID him. Now they have him in handcuffs, and they're digging through his pockets. They're probably looking for an ID because once again...
Who are you? What is your name?
Who are you? What is your name? He's saying, quit bending my wrists. I'm handcuffed. And you can tell this guy from the beginning you saw was coming up on him. He was super aggressive. See, he's twisting his wrists around. You know, just these pigs are very, very, very subtle in the aggressive things that they're doing to you. They are filthy, disgusting, horrible human beings. And look at the tyrant's face, man. He's got this smug, arrogant look. Now we got a guy in plain clothes out here. You guys get him? You guys get him? He's recording. Batusai, although I probably said it wrong for the 1,000th time, I don't care. That's how I'm saying it, okay, Matt? Look how calm he is, though. So calm. I don't think I've ever seen Batusai even raise his voice. He may have, but I don't think so. I've never seen him cuss at a cop. Look how chill he is. All right, we're going to put you in the cop car, and they tell him, we're going to, since you won't tell us who you are, we're going to have to fingerprint you to find out who you are. Again, there's no reason. They turn off their body cameras to conspire, and then this is when it comes back after he's been released from the car, hotboxed him. Right, Jules, and that's what was important, and they talk about that in court. I mean, geez, they can't repeat the words enough times. Why did you put him in the back of the car? To make him sweat. You're going to make it hard on us? We're going to make you sweat. They put him in the back of that car in the summer with no air conditioning on. Why? To punish him. How dare he come up and record our police department, really, his police department. How dare he do that and then just not give these pigs whatever it is that they demand? So this is after he gets out of the car.
One more photo, please, sir.
And now they're being passive aggressive. You see this? Let me take one more photo of you, sir. Let me take one more photo. They still have refused to identify themselves.
Can you just get one more photo, please, sir?
You refuse to identify yourself. I hope you're not accredited by seller. And now he's threatened me with criminal trespass.
So now they kick him off the property, and this is something we're seeing a lot recently. I saw it just today, and we're going to watch that video. Criminally trespassing people from government property. Government property is public property.
Property.
Discovered this channel yesterday. I'll tell you what, as far as all the channels that are out there, man, the internet is littered with channels of people walking up to police to say F the cops. There's not a whole lot of classy material out there like the Batusai. All right? There's not a whole... But on the other hand, I mean, I can see after we watch a few more of these videos, you start to get to the point where you're like, well, geez, nothing anybody does stops these guys. Anyways, still, you know, it's nice to see someone actually exercise some class.
Hey, I'm just letting you know I'm gonna step foot inside to get a public records request.
Step in this property and you will go to jail, sir. So they are so pissed off at him for recording that he's banned. Essentially, this tells me he's banned from using police services, period, at all. He can't come in and file a complaint. He can't do an open records request. If he gets robbed up the street, he cannot walk over here and file a police report. Okay? He can't do it. He's annoyed them by exercising his rights and failing to submit to their bullying, and now they're mad. So he can't come there. How many times have you heard cops say, well, what are you going to do when you need my help someday? First off, I'd ask my neighbor for help, not you. But secondly, geez, you just told him he's not even allowed at the property. And this isn't even somebody who runs around saying F the police. He did nothing mean. He did nothing belligerent, or, I mean, the guy is as kind as can possibly be. You're just triggered by him, and now he's no longer allowed in the building.
To get a public records request, can you hand me the form?
So he tells him, you don't get the request here, you got to go to another building for it. Now here's the part that I'm not going to play here, and I want you to go to the Batusai's channel for this. And again, I'll put the link in at the end of the video, because for some reason when I go live, I don't know what's going on, but I can't put a description in. And so I did not put this video in the description before the video started. I will put it in afterwards. But this is where I want you to go to Batusai's channel and listen to this ruling, okay? Because on the streets, these guys are arrogant assholes. Sorry, stop cussing, James. These guys are arrogant jerks, okay? On the streets, they do whatever they want. They bully, they intimidate, they use violence, and it's all just okay. The words that are said in this hearing are incredible, because it just takes all logic and reason and puts it into perspective. And the judges are consistently saying, no, but why are you even detaining him? Well, we were trying to ID him, but you have no reason to ID him. Well, because of terrorism. You suspect him of terrorism? Well, no, but he could be terrorism. No, you never had a right to touch him. You never had a right to put hands on him. You never had a right to ID him. And the court just destroys really it's the defense, I believe, on this, because it's in the Fifth Circuit, and so it's the government trying to say, no, we had a reason to do what we're doing. And the court keeps saying, no, you didn't. You didn't have a reason to. You had no business doing anything to this man. Anything at all. Nothing. And out of the dozens of cases that they try to bring up to the court says, no, this doesn't apply. You can't just screw with people because you feel like screwing with them, because your ego is damaged, or because you just feel like you can't do that. No, you're wrong. It's illegal. You're wrong. So I'll have you go to his channel to hear all of that. It is well worth. That is the best part of the video. Top notch. Phoenix Breaks. Thanks for joining the channel. Welcome. But that is the part of the video. The arrest, the handcuffing, the abusing him, whatever. This is the gold. This is the part of the video. Public has right to videotape police action, Fifth Circuit says. So a lot of people have talked about this case law since then in the Fifth Circuit. Now, when was this actually? Let me Google. I don't remember. I don't know what year this he won this ruling in the Fifth Circuit, Turner versus Driver. Let me Google. Turner versus Driver. 2017, February 27th, 2017. Yes, a 2017 decision of the United States Court of Appeals for Fifth Circuit that established a First Amendment right to record the police. One of the officers involved was criminally indicted for a similar incident around the same time. So, gosh, I didn't know that. I did not know that an officer was criminally indicted, not for this case, but for a similar one. I didn't know that. Dee Dee, good to see you in the chat there. I see you chatting. Thank you so much for being here, Dee Dee. Sally Smith, let me recognize some of these channel supporters here. Mac Tribe Oregon, thank you for being here. Conspiracy Against Transparency. Cranium Misfit. I appreciate you all making it possible for me to keep doing this content. I did not realize, though, that one of the officers involved was criminally indicted, because as far as I'm concerned, that's the way it should be. We'll get into that in a few minutes, though. But since Turner versus Driver in 2017, how many videos have you seen come out of, I don't know exactly which states are in the Fifth Circuit. Is Oklahoma? I know Texas is. Is Oklahoma in there? How many cases have we seen since Turner versus Driver, though, where police have arrested people for recording police actions in a public place? How many have we seen? I can't even count. I can tell you that. Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's annoying or not, just go to News Now Patrick's channel and see how many cops just don't get it. That you can record in a public place. Sixth Estate says 3 times today. And that's just what we saw on YouTube, right? Leon, Six Puck, thank you. Leon Valley. There you go, right there in the Fifth Circuit. Multiple times, over and over again. Off the top of my head, I really can't even think of them, but literally, you guys throw them out there. There's hundreds of them, right? And so, please, mad respect for Philip, for Mr. Turner, for putting in the work, the effort, and the patience to go through their system with a lawyer to get Rockwall, Otto, thank you, Deckmasters, to get this case law. But really, let's look at it this way too. Is Turner versus Driver new law as of 2017? Like, prior to Turner versus Driver, was it illegal to record police in a public place? No, of course it wasn't. It was never illegal. It was always legal. It was always lawful. But police were arresting people for it, right? It was always legal. And so the police were always violating the law, right? From the very beginning, the police were violating the law. Welcome to the channel, Opie effing Taylor. News Now Patrick gets under their skin in a major way. Yeah, he does, John. He set the precedent, but, and again, I have mad respect for what he's done, but he set the precedent. I mean, it was already a law. It was already, I mean, why do we have to set precedent on everything? I mean, how many court rulings and court cases does there have to be before cops stop arresting people for recording in public. I get that some people think there needs to be precedent set, but gosh, if that's the way it's got to be, then every single scenario and situation of somebody recording the police is going to be different in one way or another, right? It's always going to be different. The situation, the physical area, especially when you get into cop watching and recording cops when they're pulling people over, every single situation is going to be different. Well, in this situation, the cops got him pulled over, and there's a sidewalk to the right side of them, and there's a fence with a neighbor's property there, or there's a neighbor's property there without a fence. I mean, when you get into the logistics of where you can stand, where you can be, where you can't be, I mean, you'd have to have precedent and case law on every last single scenario that you can possibly think of where you might be recording the police. But is that necessary? No, I don't think it is. If you time, place, and manner restrictions, you don't need precedent on every single situation. Turner versus Driver precedent needed so court could determine what a cop should reasonably know. Okay, sure. I guess that in that case, Lyndon Kinley, so maybe it was necessary to get past qualified immunity, which shouldn't exist in the first place, right? Maybe that's what it is. But they consistently, though, come up with another reason why you can't. Hey, now it's constantly, hey, you can record us, but, right? You walk up and you start recording them, and it's, hey, you can record us, but, hey, let's talk about Rockwall. Specifically, for instance, when myself and David Boren were recording a traffic stop in Rockwall, and we were on opposite sides of them. And they, again, it's a different scenario than when Philip was by himself recording a police station, because now we have two people recording the police, and they're standing on opposite sides of the police, right? They're always coming up with, yeah, but Philip was standing outside of a police station. You're recording a traffic stop with each of you on opposite sides. We're going to need new precedent set, right? No, it's always legal to record the police. Always. It's always legal. It's always lawful. You don't get to tell us where we can and can't stand to record you. Because if you do that, then we both go to one side and you plant the drugs on the other side. Good work as always, man. Did you see an ex-cop apologize on the stream today? Blew my mind. Patrick, that was an awesome show. I loved your guest today. I kind of jumped in at the end, and right off the bat, man, he's so articulate. He's intelligent. He's smart. And he's an ex-cop. But it just goes to show, just my 2.0, it just goes to show that, man, it doesn't matter where you came from, Patrick, I think. I used to be a Republican, which is absolutely disgusting. It's almost as disgusting as being a Democrat. But it really doesn't matter where you came from. The question is, when you're faced with new knowledge and new information that tells you that your previous ideas were wrong, can you move forward? And can you progress? Man, that guy, that was on the Anarcast earlier today, but just an incredible example of it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, you have the ability to do better tomorrow than you did yesterday. Just my 2.0 says, much respect to anyone that risks their safety to record our employees. Yes, same exactly. There is hope. To me though, Patrick, it doesn't matter whether you're a cop or whether you're a statist without a badge. The illusion, the belief that certain humans, for some magical reason, have the right to forcefully control other humans. I see every statist as oh geez, did I just crash again? I see every statist as the same. To me, it doesn't matter if you're a cop or if you're a voter. You're still a violent thug. But anyways, that's probably too much for this audience. So that's why people have a hard time understanding why I have a little bit of sympathy for cops. And I'm going, well, geez, if I don't have sympathy for cops, then I wouldn't have sympathy for you either. Hey, I'm a member. I have the right to order James around, says Breaking the Flaw. So anyways, there's Turner versus Driver. He allegedly set the precedent, but have cops, the law was always that you could record. Turner versus Driver didn't change that law. We just had another court ruling that said, yes, that's the law. And have cops stopped violating people who record in public? No, they have not. Now, the end of this video, guys, is going to be a little bit shocking. I'm going to warn you about that right off the bat. I'm going to show you a few examples of different ways that people have dealt with tyrants. And the end of the video is going to be a little bit shocking. Just forewarned. I've got 3 more videos to go through, and the third one is pretty shocking. All right, this next one is Here We Go. I'm going to skip through this. This just happened hours ago. This is on News Now Ninja's channel, and this was sent to me from HBO Matt because he knows that while I love all of you guys out there who are standing up against tyranny, I cannot stand to watch this crap all day. All right, and by crap I mean not that you're making crap content. I don't like seeing people hurt other people all day every day. It's depressing, it's upsetting, and I've got other things I would rather do. Okay, I sincerely appreciate every single one of you out there who are standing up and doing what you can to fight back. I cannot immerse myself in it all day. So people like Matt send me stuff that he wants me to see, and I kind of trust Matt because over time to send me really just the worst of the worst that needs some attention and needs to be shared. Well, he shared this with me today. These guys were... I didn't go through because there's multiple different stages to this story, but this involves Rights Crispy, I believe, who's a member on this channel. News Now Ninja, and it looks like, man, there's about at least four people out there. But let's look at the way that they dealt with tyranny and whether it was effective or not effective.
How this house gonna go? Tell us your name before you tell me what to do.
So they're at this county building, and the county called the police. I don't know how or why exactly we got to this point, but rather than the county using the sheriff, the county called the police. I believe that beforehand they were inside of the county building. Then the county employees told them, no, you're trespassed from the county building. So now they're outside on the public easement in front of the building.
What is your name? What is your name?
Again, News Now Ninja. I'll put a link to this in the description after the video. Rights Crispy is cool. And yet again, another individual who, unlike what I've become over the last year or so, post Leon Valley, you don't see Rights Crispy cussing these guys out left and right. Some of the guys he goes out with might, but he's cool, calm, collected, and he knows his stuff. Let's see if that prevents him from being molested.
There's a man arrested here on this public property. Okay, let me talk to you for 1 minute. Just here, one at a time. Okay, there was a man.
Yep. This is going to be done with respect and dignity.
Yep.
All right. You guys heard that quote from this man right here, right? First of all, before we figure out what's going on, this is going to be done with respect and dignity. Now, I am actually against doing even what I've done, which is to sit there and cuss out the cops. I don't think it's usually very effective at all. But at the point where a government agent tells me that I must be respectful, the first thing that I want to do is say F you. Okay? Just to let him know, no, that's not a law. Okay? That's not a law. All right? So you don't get to dictate how we're going to do this, and you don't get to dictate whether you think it's respectful enough or not. But at any rate, that wouldn't have helped. It really wouldn't have. It's just my thought.
Yes, sir.
So this guy is respectful, though. Your response with, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Call that this is county property, that there is some personnel that are trespassing
Yep.
and harassing them. So tell me.
So now that you hold on, wait.
So now they start talking over each other. We've all done this crap when we're out together working as a group. You got to have a point man who's talking, and you got to have the rest backup cam. Just my opinion. Again, I've done this before too, though, where all of us are trying to be heard.
So now that you've done your investigation, you've showed up, you've seen that we are on a public easement here on the side of a road that is publicly accessible to us to walk down and video freely.
Don't get me wrong. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Mad respect to every single one of you who was out there with a camera and every single one of you who was doing or saying something, okay? I'm just saying that unlike the police, I think that we should be able to look at our everything that we do and go, all right, how can we get better? How can we get better? How can we get better? And I've been in 100 situations myself where I go back and look at it and I go, well, geez, I can't even use this video that I just created because so-and-so was talking and I was talking right over the top of them. So, I mean, to me, that's unusable now.
All we want to. If you want to trespass me from public property, it's going to be a big deal for you.
As I sit here and watch a video and talk over the top of it.
Because what happened is, just recently, there was someone that was arrested here for videoing, doing exactly what we're doing from public property. You see these electrical wires? We're all independent.
Okay, you're independent, so y'all all just gathered together.
Especially one of our...
Stick to the point at hand, we're on public property.
Okay, I love that part. So he's asking them, okay, well, he's already losing track of the point of what's going on. James, it's commentary. Yeah, I know. He's already losing track of the point, okay? Now he wants to know, okay, well, who are you guys? And are you all together? Or are you all independent? And somebody in the background, I'm not sure who it was that said that, stick to the point. We're on public property. Who we are or what we're doing or why we're doing it is completely irrelevant. We are doing something lawful. You are a law enforcement officer. You shouldn't be here. Okay?
We're all independent.
Okay, you're independent, so y'all all just gathered together.
Especially one of our...
Stick to the point at hand, we're on public property.
Okay, yeah.
Speak to the point at hand.
You know,
We're on public property.
Yeah. There you go. Here you go.
see how I'm talking?
Here we go.
Nice and respectful.
Yep, and
Okay. What was your...
So this guy was just arrested a week prior, I believe, on this property.
What was your name?
hold on. So basically, I was the
Badge number
gentleman
1.
Just my 2.0. Much respect, James. I can only take so much of rights being violated. Americans need to see the blue line terrorism. That's the thing about me not watching most videos too, just my 2.0. It's that I know they're doing it. And so to watch them do it all day just eats away at my soul. And I'm not okay with it.
I was standing on that side. I was recording. I didn't say a word. They came out here. Pritchard came out here.
Yes, sir.
They asked me for ID.
Yes, sir.
In the middle of IDing, he asked me where I lived at, or if I lived in Alabama. I said no, I did not, and that's not important. And then he arrested me for failure.
So this cop too has chosen to speak to him. This is Rights Crispy, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's Rights Crispy. And this cop has chosen who he's going to talk to and who he doesn't want to talk to. It's Rogue Nation? Rogue Nation? Okay. So this is Rogue Nation. Thank you guys for correcting me. Everybody's like, no, we all know who that is, James. Everyone but you pays attention. But he's chosen that he's going to talk to him. He's chosen that he's going to talk to Rogue Nation, and it's because Rogue Nation is a little bit more cool and calm. So, I mean, does that help you at all to be cool and calm? I don't know. But, you know, hopefully it could help de-escalate a situation because two calm individuals might be willing to talk to one another and settle things in a non-violent way. But we'll see if that works.
To ID. When I got to the station, you guys switched the charges to something I can't remember.
Well, he's already talking about how he was just arrested a week ago, so I guess being a decent person didn't work out for him. Don't get me wrong, keep it up exactly what you do the way you do it, Rogue.
The bottom line.
Okay, there you go. Let's get to the bottom line.
Here's the bottom line. This is a public right of way. We have an absolute right to walk down it. And even if we were yelling, F you, that's freedom of speech and can never be considered disorderly conduct or harassment.
There we go. And Rogue is a great auditor, if that's what he cares to be called. I don't know. But man, straight to the point. He says, but let's get to the bottom line. This is a public easement. And even if we're yelling out the F word, we have a right to be here, and we have a right to free speech. Because really, does anything else matter? Does the fact that he was arrested last week matter? No. Does the fact that the county employees are upset matter on a legal basis? No, not at all. Mad respect, Rogue Nation, right to the point. What actually matters here? We're on a public easement participating in allegedly constitutionally protected activity. What we're doing is legal. Please add a name tag to your shirts. It's right here. Cranium Misfit.
Here's the bottom line.
Okay, there you go. Let's get to the bottom line.
Here's the bottom line. This is a public right of way. We have an absolute right to walk down it. And even if we were yelling "F you," that's freedom of speech and can never be considered disorderly conduct or harassment.
And we have the GIS surveys that shows that this is public.
We've been on private property. All right.
Now everybody jumps in and talks, and everybody's making excellent points. And it was good there that everybody did wait their turn. You know, people weren't talking over each other. You got News Now Ninja says we checked the GIS surveys. You got somebody in the back. Never once did we enter private property. Good, excellent points. Nobody talked over each other.
Sounds like the grievance started with you about 2 months ago.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to ask you a simple question. When you had this engagement with the prison police department, did you go and file a complaint?
All right, so he says, so this all started a week ago. Did you file a complaint? And Rogue says, well, I got a lawyer and we'll file the complaint in federal court as soon as the charges are dismissed.
What I did was I hired a lawyer. We'll go through the complaint process and the lawsuit process as soon as the charges get dismissed.
Here we go, guys.
Because you can't, guys, once they slap fake charges on you, that's how they lock you into not being able to make any progress on dealing with them. Okay? That's how they stall them being dealt with. When I called to, actually, we'll get into that more, but let me tell you, when I did call internal affairs about me getting the crap beat out of me by DPS, you know what they told me? They told me that there's a police officer's Bill of Rights and that they can't investigate this cop until they're done investigating me. All right? Yeah, I've got that. Of course, I record everything. Right? They're not going to investigate police officers' Bill of Rights. Now, I'm all for a Bill of Rights specifying what rights each individual human has, but they are equal across the board. Humans have rights. Police don't have extra rights that you and I don't, and you and I don't have extra rights that police don't. If somebody needs to be investigated for a crime, they need to be investigated for a crime, okay? But this is how they keep these pigs from being investigated. Oh, crap, this pig broke the law? Well, quick, slap some fake charges on this guy and let's maliciously prosecute him for the next 1 to 2 years. That way, a year or two from now, people will mostly forget about what happened, the scenario. Hell, they'll probably be worn the hell out and won't even care to pursue charges against the police officer or a complaint or a lawsuit or anything like that, right? That's Eric Brandt shows. So good to see you here. Says, yep, true statement. But if you sue them before your trial, then the officers must testify in the affirmative that they are a defendant in a federal lawsuit. Jury has the right to know. Just saying. Ghost Rider says the Bill of Rights is not to specify what rights you have, but to limit the government in trying to control your rights. Okay. I think that I don't know about that. At any rate, too, it really hasn't done anything, right? Ghost Rider? Like, geez, what did I see? What did I see someone compare the Constitution to? Essentially, though, I mean, no matter what they wrote on the paper, whether you want to talk about the Constitution or Bill of Rights or even legislation that's written on paper, really it doesn't matter when you're dealing with people who don't obey laws, right? And so, here we go. Oscobo is Arizona Constitution Article Declaration, blah, 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 Victims Bill of Rights, predates the Cops Bill of Rights. And you know, and all of that stuff is great if you're someone who obeys and is accountable to law. And so for you and I, we're accountable to law, right? And so that's why we study this stuff too, because they're going to hold us to it. And that's why you and I have to know it. Why do cops not have to know it? Because they're not accountable to it. They don't have to know it because there's going to be no consequence if they violate it. Anyways, let's move on.
So now with that being said, what does this have to do
The Constitution is still authoritarian, says Googly Eyes.
with asking a question?
Well, what happened is they violated my rights.
Okay.
And I'm an independent journalist.
Who violated your rights for 15 years? That's what I'm trying to get at.
And so again, he established the point. The point is we're on public property doing public free people stuff. He is still trying to find out what the story is. But why? Why does the story matter? Well, somebody violated my rights. Well, who violated your rights? Is it one of them? It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. None of this is relevant to anything. None of it.
Well, they did by calling the police
They
on
didn't
you.
violate your rights?
Yes, they did. When somebody calls the police on you to have you removed from public property.
Yeah, there's a police bill of rights.
Or doing
You
what's-
don't necessarily know.
Just let him finish real quick.
You don't know everything about what is classified as public housing.
Oh, now this is great. Now this guy goes full. Can I say the R word? Can I say the word from Full Metal Jacket? Now this guy goes full retard. You guys don't know what is and is not public property. Are you kidding, dude? We know better than anybody what is and is not public property.
Up to a distance.
It's public property up to a distance.
Public property up to a distance.
Yeah,
Now,
no.
we're asking you, and if you want to, if you're saying that you want to film, in theory, this is their property. If you want to go
In theory, no, there's no freaking theory. Public is public and private is private. Your theories are ridiculous. No, it's actually law, Sergeant. We are actually talking about law here, and there is nobody more ignorant to the law than a police officer, especially this one.
saying that
Now, this guy is dangerous. You're about to find that out.
you want to film, in theory, this is their property. If you want to go across.
Well, why is there a public electric pole right here? Sir, why is there a public light pole? There's electric lines here. This is put in by the city.
Everybody's laughing.
Put in by the city.
Everybody's just laughing. Like, you can't even take the guy seriously at this point, right? Like, you're so full of crap, and he's so used to a day and age when people just didn't know. When people actually, man, I remember when I was younger and people would be like, oh, well, I know the law because my brother's a cop. Oh, well, I know the law because my uncle was a cop. Like, dude, first off, your brother or your uncle was one of the biggest idiots on the planet then, all right? They didn't know law, and you knowing them doesn't mean that you know law. But, you know, this cop is used to that day and age when, you know, when a cop says something, everybody around him goes, oh, well, that must be the law.
Look,
We're not there anymore,
this
okay?
right here, look,
You're a
oh,
joke now.
sir,
You're a joke,
Mr. Overalls, Mr. Overalls.
Mr. Overalls.
Hey,
Sir, you can shake your head all you want.
we're not impeding on the side of the road.
Listen, what I'm saying. What I'm saying, let me
God.
tell you something. You don't know what it is about public property. This is
You don't know what it is about public property.
You're so dreadlocks make you stupid, bro.
Dude, I love how everybody is just laughing at him. Because what else can you say to that? What else can you say? I mean, it's not public property. Okay, but it is. But it literally, in every sense of the word, every definition is public property. How do you argue it? You don't. And that's why these guys just stand there laughing out loud. And what else can you do?
public property. This
You're
is
stupid,
not
dude. You're so dreadlocks make you stupid, bro.
Rest in peace, that spacebar.
For years, I know exactly what public property is. I'm actually sponsored by a lawyer.
Yes,
I know exactly
This
what
thing
public
up is
what
property
you're looking for is, are you looking for anything?
Shoot. Shoot.
What did he say? Are you looking for what? Because he's Rogue says I'm sponsored by a lawyer, but I can't quite hear what the cop says. I'm guessing at that point, because when you say, oh, well, I've got a lawyer or this or that, they always say, well, are you looking for a lawsuit? Well, let me ask you this. When a cop stops you because he believes that you committed a crime, is he looking for a citation? Or because you're speeding, whatever it is he looking for a citation? Is he looking for an arrest? So when a cop asks you, when you're out searching for cops who are breaking the law, are you looking for a lawsuit? Well, no, I'm not. I'd rather you just get arrested and face criminal charges the way all normal humans do. But you don't get that. And so, really, I'll take what I can get on any attempt to hold you accountable, whether it's a lawsuit or you being criminally charged. And it becomes like you're doing something wrong because you're looking for that. Well, are you looking for a lawsuit? Gosh, no. Are you looking for a speeder?
Stupid, bro.
Now, let me recognize just my 2.0. America, along with your tracking social security number, we should have the nuke code. We born equal, I thought. Yeah, well, just my 2.0, sure.
I've been doing this specifically for 2 years. I know exactly what public property is. I'm actually sponsored by a lawyer.
Yes,
I know exactly
Just like
what public
What
property
you're
is.
looking for is, are you looking for
Shoot. Shoot.
I'm trying to
I don't hear what he says. Are you looking for, and I don't know what he says.
But you're asking.
Oh, what did
Not telling.
hold on, what did Eric Brandt say? Hey, Jules. Hey, Kat. Hey, Wolfie. What did Eric Brandt say? I'm trying to scroll back up and find it. All right. We'll carry on.
Because, yeah, they're afraid of the camera. If I'm a citizen and I'm legally
You know who's
allowed-
actually here then? Let's see how much knowledge you know then of this place.
I don't want knowledge of who's there. I want knowledge of spending time on my property. Stick to the point. We're on public property. Stop changing the conversation. Well, what are you doing by talking about people inside? We don't care about that. You stop. We're on public.
Stop! Look how triggered he is that they won't just do what he says. One, he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't even be standing here harassing people. But he is. And they're not having it. They're not putting up with it. They're not yelling at him. They're not cussing at him. They're not yelling F the police. But they're not putting up with his bullying tactics. And he's really, 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 really annoyed and triggered by that. It's like it's never happened to him before. It's like he's never been told no before. This is the kind of guy who probably goes to the bar and tries to pick up a chick with nice words, but when she doesn't take the bait, he puts a roofie in her drink and, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, right? That's the kind of predator that this is. Watching here in Australia, great work, James. Thanks, Hands Dish.
Time on my property. Stick to the point. We're on public property. Stop changing the conversation. Well, what are you doing by talking about people inside? We don't care about that.
Stop.
We're on public property. If you just leave us
I'm
alone.
telling you, you have the right to assemble, but did you go through the proper protocol to assemble here?
Yeah.
And now we're on to, now he's trying to break up what he perceives to be some type of protest. The right to assemble. Now we've moved on to the right to assemble. Now, not that it even matters because it's completely irrelevant and this guy's just all over the place. But even when you're talking about getting a permit for a protest, you don't need a permit to go and protest unless you're going to be blocking some type of public easement, okay? You can go and protest on the sidewalk or on a public easement without any permit whatsoever. But if you're expecting to have thousands of people there and block the road, that's when you're expected to go get a permit. And the permit isn't for the protest. The permit is to shut down public traffic for your protest. Does that make sense, guys? That's what a permit to assemble. It's not even a permit to assemble. It's oh, geez. This is just infuriating, guys. And this guy, Eric Brandt made an excellent phone call to Arizona Department of Public Safety, the state police that beat the crap out of me. And you can find that phone call on Priceless Channel. On Priceless Channel, you can find Eric Brandt's phone call. And he asked this cop a few questions about their training and says, hey, so how long were you in training before you became a cop? And the cop says, oh, we did this much training, blah, blah, blah. And then Eric asks, okay, do you have to do any ongoing training to be a police officer? And the cop talks about how he's got to do 14 hours a year, I believe, of firearms training. And yeah, no, thank you, Priceless Channel. So by the way, there he is in the chat, guys. So if you want to click on his name right there, that'll take you right to the video that I'm talking about. And so, you know, the cop says, oh, well, we got to do 14 hours a year of firearms training. And Eric says, okay, so you're required to do 14 hours of firearms training. Is there any more firearms training that you personally do on the side, just in your own personal time? And he doesn't really answer that question, I don't think. But at any rate, then Eric asks, okay, are you required to spend any time, something along the lines of, how much time do you spend in the law library, or how much time are you required to spend in the law library? And he responds with a question. I believe it was, in the what? I think, I may not be quoting it all right, but he asked him, how much time are you required to spend in the library? In the what? And Eric says, wait a second, you're charged with upholding and enforcing the law, but you're telling me you spend more time learning how to put holes in people than you spend learning about the law that you're supposedly upholding and enforcing. And, you know, it just really, really, really drives home the point that these guys are idiots. And you know, not because they were born idiots, but because they choose to be ignorant, because their system doesn't require them to know or understand any law whatsoever, but it does require them to learn use of force. Clash with Bow recently had a talk with a cop in Albuquerque, New Mexico about the same thing, where he was asking him about training. And the only thing the cop ever wanted to talk about was use of force, use of force, use of force. They never want to talk about their training on the law because they have none. JP Tag, do you know the difference between a U.S. citizen and a state citizen or a world citizen? Did you ever learn this? Obama became a world citizen. Education. And more importantly, the most important thing you need to understand is the guy with the gun who's telling you what to do, that's the law, okay? Star of Texas, tyranny is tyranny. These armed terrorists took life, kidnapping, liberty, and property, force of violence. This extortionist is dangerous, ex-military. It looks like a handful of people headed over to check out that phone call, which is excellent. And another super chat. Eyes all around. Thanks for that super chat.
We're on public property. If you just leave us alone.
You have the right to assemble, but did you go?
Video name. I don't remember what the name of the video was. I didn't even pull that one up because it wasn't even on my list, but it was quite relevant, I felt. Let me look up Priceless Channel. Give me a second. We'll let this play and I'll look it up.
The proper protocol to assemble here.
Yeah, it's called the Constitution.
United States Constitution.
Sir,
Plain
what I'm
and
talking
simple.
about.
People did it long.
Hey, also, I will add a link to that phone call in here as well at the end. Shoot. Let me write it down so I don't...
Long time before I was born.
We don't have to ask permission.
I don't have to ask permission for freedom.
I'm trying to be nice with you.
We don't.
too, all
I
right?
am.
You're not being nice by you telling us to leave.
I'm not giving you
have
any.
to leave.
No.
Then trespass me.
What?
Then
Then you
trespass
have been
me.
criminally trespassed. In
Good.
front of two other officers. Go ahead.
What's your name? 121.
Off of public property. He just criminally trespassed him. Forced him to stand in the street. Yeah, you want to force?
So he tells him he's trespassed from the public easement and he goes out to the road. I mean, this is just...
Force people to stand in the street? Look at what he's doing. Making it worse. Look at what y'all are doing, making it worse. No, this is
the
public.
grin on this guy's face. I don't know who this dude is behind that cop, but
What's your name and badge
the
number?
grin on his face, like, dude, are you like, he's just standing there like, this has got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Doing? Making it worse. Look at what y'all are doing, making it worse.
So that's James Madison. Okay, I think I saw from his video possibly earlier then James Madison audits. I did see. I think I saw his perspective from inside of the building earlier today. Dude, look at his. He's like, what the? He's just in like shock and awe. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I've ever been in a more retarded situation. Oh, James Madison used to be a cop, so he's a recovering recovering criminal then. Well, good for you, James Madison. Good for you. Earlier today, I saw a cop on the Anarchast. Man, some of the I'll tell you what, man, just because of the situation you're in today doesn't mean that you can't be a better person tomorrow. There you go, right there. From being a cop to recording the cops.
No, this is public.
You know, we all do the best we can until we know better. Somebody was calling me out the other day because I once got paid really, really good money as a contractor with KBR, taxpayer money, as a contractor with KBR in Baghdad, Iraq. I'm not proud of that one bit. At the time I was, you know, I thought I was pretty cool stuff for that. I didn't go kill people for them, but I certainly supplied resources for other people to murder for the government. But geez, you know, we do the best we can until we know better, and then we do better, right? Hey, thanks, David L. Once we're confronted with new information, once we're presented with new information that tells us that our previous ideas are bat crap crazy, and we make change based on the new information we're presented with. I mean, what more can you? No, I was not military. I was not military. Contractors got paid 4 or 5 times as much as military to be in military war zones doing logistics support. So rather than shooting people in lands that I invaded, I was issuing out property to other people, such as flak jackets, boots, helmets, vests, so that they could go shoot people. So I was certainly a participant in some pretty evil stuff without ever doing the evil acts myself, which is why I don't have patience for the woman behind the desk who's just doing her job. That's why I have just as little patience for her as I do for the tyrant on the street. You know, they couldn't do what they're doing if everyone behind the desks weren't doing what they're doing. The wheel doesn't turn, you know, everybody plays their part. And if you're playing a part in it, you are part of it. Brett Burgess, James, you are brave enough to wear your mask. You are brave enough to wear your mask, ? LOL, enjoyed that podcast you shared earlier.
What's your name and badge number? Yes, I need to know your name and badge number now. 121. Sir, I'm leaving.
Now he's mad because he was asked to identify and he doesn't want to identify. And all of a sudden he's going to go to violence now. And you see how this happens so quickly. Sorry, I'm talking too much and I should just let some of this play. But so quickly we go from, hey, this is a public easement, we have every right to be here, to this guy's triggered. He has asked you nicely to give your phone number as a chick in the bar. You know, he's asked her nicely to give her phone number. She said, hey, you know what, man, I'm just not interested in you. You're not my type. And then, boom, he goes to the roofies.
Making it worse.
All right, that's it. You're coming home with me.
No, this is public. What's your name and badge number? Yes, I need to know your name and badge number now. 121. Sir, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. No, you for what? Okay.
Now, there's no reason for News Now Ninja to leave. I get it, though. Once you realize that the threat of violence is real, which this was shocking to me. If I had been in News Now Ninja's place, I would not have known that he was about to go hands-on and like a filthy, filthy, violent thug and arrest me. I mean, that went instantly from nothing to something. Browns Boy 23. For fun, I think we should take an honest guess at their IQ. My honest guess is 85 for that butt boy. And look, as soon as he goes hands-on, this is how it always works with cops. This is the thug gang mentality. As soon as one of them puts hands on, no matter what the situation, no matter how wrong he is, every single one of his violent thug gang members come to back him up.
Let's go. I'm under arrest for what? What am I under arrest for? What am I under arrest for? Take that.
Now, there's a whole bunch of other guys here too, and they aren't going to arrest everybody. They're just, they're following the lead of this thug. And they're like, okay, who are we going to violently attack? Okay, we're getting this one. Okay, but the other 2 can stand there and record, right? And the other 4.
Gang, dog. You just told me to get in the street.
So they got
Make up your mind, man.
gang,
You don't know
dogs.
what you're doing.
Dogs.
Another punk. That's what these guys are.
Dogs. Dogs.
So this is dragging out way too long because I don't shut up. But different ways that things are dealt with. You explain the law to them. You tell them not to break the law. What do? They break the law.
Yeah, News Now Ninja arrested.
So not only did informing them that they were wrong, witch hunt, bear back the blue, says Eric Brandt.
Leah Pritchard. Are you you're an FTO, sir? What are
Okay, Wolfie Gladly Accountability says James Madison Audits has the camera now.
the officers' names? That's all we need.
And for some reason, James Madison Audits is not trespassing in the same spot where I'm not saying to go. You say this stuff and you start giving them ideas, and they're like, "You're right. We should go and arrest everybody." But he's not trespassing for standing on the public easement, whereas News Now Ninja was trespassing for standing on the public easement. You see this insanity, right, James? You have no idea how much your hard work and sacrifice you and your beautiful, brave family have done to make this world a better place. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dee Dee.
Your policy does say that.
You show me in our policy or the Alabama state law says I gotta go next.
I will.
Or I'm just telling you to go or you're next.
All right, you want me to go down this way?
You will be next.
No, I'm going. I just have to ask
You
you a
will be
question.
next. Go that way.
Thanks, the Moto Maniac. Your commentary is important because you are educating the public politically. Well, I hope anti-politically. But yeah, many people, my past self included, would see this video and think the solution is to vote for a certain politician. Yes, so you are getting it. You are getting it, the Moto Maniac. Yes, educating the public anti-politically, because the answer is not to vote for a different master. The answer is you're on a plantation. And these guys are here to whip the slaves. And really, when you're on the plantation, do the laws and the rules of the plantation apply to the plantation master? No, of course not. Of course not. They're the rulers. They're the masters. Don't pretend like those rules were ever meant for them. And so I'm glad I go out and do the same thing. I repeat the rules to them again and again and again. Here's the rules. Here's the laws. Oh my gosh, you're not going to obey the rules and the laws? No, of course not. Those are for you. Those are for you and me.
That's what you are. It's a tyrant. You are.
So now there's a threat of violence for all of them to leave. Y'all are next if you don't move along.
This is good here, right? Because I'm on the side.
Well, now he's telling them to go across the street. Now, I don't know if there are businesses on the other side of the street. But at this rate, what these cops are saying essentially means that you can't walk down a public easement at all. I mean, they can go around and start saying, you know what, we're also going to trespass you from that public easement. I mean, it doesn't,
I just want to know.
it can't end once you get to this extreme.
He just told me to get out of the road a second ago. He just told me to get out of the road. I stood here.
Again, now they keep saying this is county property. County property is public property. Voluntarism. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, Nick. If you guys don't know what voluntarism is, please Google it. Because the problem is not bad cops or bad politicians or prison industrial complex. Those are all symptoms of a problem. Those are all symptoms of the actual problem. That problem being statism, and the answer being voluntarism.
And I was walking.
These guys, dude, tell us. I'm figuring out the color of my boat I'm gonna buy from this lawsuit. You're a sad. You guys are jerks.
Who the heck said that? Who said that? I don't know how this looks in court because I've never seen it. Because the truth is, even though we sit there and rant and rave, I'm going to file a lawsuit. I've had like, I think 2 or 3 lawsuits out of hundreds of cases that should have been sued. Rogue Nation. Okay, that is beautiful. I'm figuring out what color of boat I'm going to buy from this lawsuit.
Boat I'm gonna buy from this lawsuit. You're a sad field training officer. You guys are jerks. You guys are jerks. Sad. You guys are jerks. You're nothing but a stain in my underwear. Because that's all you are.
Now, this is pretty clear-cut case and situation. They're on a public easement, and these guys used force and violence to kidnap one of them and threaten all the rest to leave. Is there any question in anybody's mind that what just happened here was 110% absolutely, completely illegal, unlawful use of force and violence against nonviolent people? Can we all agree to that? That even if you're a statist who believes in the rituals and who believes in all of this stuff as legitimate, that this was an illegal, unlawful, violent kidnapping, intimidation. Like, there's nothing even in the statist system that says, no, this is okay, they can do this, right? Nothing whatsoever. Like, as far as I can see, these guys aren't even acting as police officers, because they're not even coming up and saying, oh, well, according to USC 24369, blah, 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 and the Alabama State Code, blah, 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 you can't do this. No, they're not even doing that. They're not even quoting statist spells and things like that as the reason for violently harming people. They're literally just doing it for the hell of it. They're not even pretending that it's lawful. Vaughn Live Tech. How to spot a sovereign citizen. Visit a police station. One of my all-of-a-time favorite videos. Thanks, James. Thank you. Star of Texas. The sad thing is, we sit here and type our feelings, but we fund and enable this first step to secession is stop. But we fund and enable this first stop to secession is stop collectively. Losing my kids is my fear. Star of Texas, we've all got fears, and you know we're gonna. This live stream is taking way longer than I thought it would, but hopefully it'll be enlightening to a lot of people. People get to a point where you've backed them into a wall and you've backed them in way too far, and at the point where people feel that they have nothing to lose, they revert back to their natural state. And a natural state of any living thing, when it feels that it's about to be killed, we'll see what that is.
Hey, Farva, can I get a liter of cola?
I didn't even watch this part. That's freaking hilarious. You guys have seen Super Troopers, right? I skipped past this part to the next.
Hey, Farva, can I get a liter of cola?
Farva, I want a liter of cola. What's a liter of cola?
I told you, dude.
Farva, just order a large.
These dudes don't know the law at fucking all,
Chief
dude.
of police. Someone's saying the chief of police should be on his way here.
That was James Madison. Farva, just order a large. No, I want a liter of cola.
We're gonna go to the PD.
Look how dangerous.
Yeah.
Look how dangerous this situation is. You got this car that's way out in the road. You got people in it looks like a median there. No, I can't tell, but I mean, very, very, very dangerous situation. You had a bunch of individuals who were off to the side of the road at a safe distance away from the road. Now you got them. This is dangerous. How to spot a sovereign citizen. Visit a
You like
courtroom.
that smile, don't you?
Says sixth estate. All right, I'm going to fast forward. I didn't even mean to show this whole video. I was going to show snippets here and there. But gosh, you just get into it. And so they go down the road.
Kidnap Tim.
They get their cars.
Yeah, I'll come in with you.
I don't know how they have cars. These are even nice cars. What is that, a Tesla? Jeez. I was told that anybody who goes out and records the police is a jobless idiot who lives in their parents' basement and plays video games all day.
Wow.
So they must have stolen these cars. That's all I can say.
I told you earlier. I'm shutting off my live feed now.
James Madison has a Tesla. He must have stolen it.
All right, so
He must have stolen it.
News Now walking away.
Because people who record the police are worthless. They don't work. They don't produce.
Anyways, listen, this is News Now.
He owns a business? No way. He lives in his mom's basement. Shut up.
Camera because he gave it to James Madison, and James Madison, what officer in charge was
Okay. Skip. Now, someone tell me what happened here, but it looks as if they took News Now Ninja down the road because they had arrested him up the road, right? It looks like they put him in the car, took him down the road, and now they brought him out of the car and they're taking off his jacket and taking off his GoPro. Is that right? James Madison, get a job and quit recording the police. He just admitted on, oh, okay, so now he's upset. Now he just, oh, dude. So News Now Ninja's wearing a body camera, but he's got a jacket over it. Did he not realize that News Now Ninja was wearing a body camera and then went, oh, crap, I just said something on camera that when I didn't realize there was a camera going. And now he's going to say, well, crap, I better get that camera and destroy it.
Yeah, I said you just arrested me for no reason on public property. He said, I know.
Dude, he got that on camera. He just arrested, hey dude, you just arrested me on public property for no reason. And he said, I know. And he got it on his body camera. So now he pulled over, got him out of the car, and he's going to steal his body camera now.
Pick out the color of the boat, man.
So now this guy has already done something violent and illegal and unlawful, right? But he wasn't dealt with, right? Do you think that he might do something violent, illegal, and unlawful again? And I'm not pointing at the guy with the dreads. I'm pointing at the guy right behind him who's patting him down.
Because
Do you think that since he got away with doing something violent and illegal and unlawful, that he might do it again? I do.
Just relax. Let him do his
I
thing.
think so. I think so. The Moto Maniac. Rest in peace, Spacebar. One day you will see police abuse. One day you will see police abuse. That day it will be your duty as an American to intervene. These abuses happen in daylight, in public, and nobody stops them. When my day comes, I will do what I can. That's prophetic, the Moto Maniac. The Moto Maniac.
Yeah, you'll be out.
We're going to watch something like that as the last video in this little series here, Moto Maniac.
Yeah.
We're going to watch a tyrant do tyrant stuff for the last time. Now my question is, because I don't know legally, as far as Masters rules go, I don't know if you legally have a right to defend yourself against a completely and totally illegal and unlawful attack from a guy with a badge. I know what's right and what's wrong, but I don't know as far as Masters rules go, if you have the right to defend yourself against something so blatantly. I mean, at this point, I'm in fear of evidence being destroyed, evidence of a crime, and evidence of a confession. I'm in genuine fear of that happening. At this point, I have come to a 100% conclusion that these three men are in blatant, intentional violation of the law, and that they are armed and dangerous. I don't know if Master says that you have a right to stop these men from doing bad things. I know what nature says, and I know what right and wrong says. Okay? And it's always right to stop evil people from doing evil things. But I don't know what Master's rules say on it. We got to skip to... So taking his body cam off. I'm skipping 5 seconds at a time
He doesn't
here.
need to say anything, Sergeant. Video doesn't lie.
Sergeant is
Clean your
mad.
ears. I don't need to repeat it. Ears, He doesn't need to say anything, Sergeant. Video doesn't lie. Clean your ears. I don't need to repeat it.
The Moto Maniac says, yes, we do have the right. The Constitution may as well be toilet paper. Your only rights are those you are willing to protect. And I get that, Moto Maniac. And the reason I ask, I like to look at every perspective of this situation. When you go out and do stuff like this, for example, you know that it's legal and lawful to stand on a public easement and record, right? But you got to know what everybody's perspective and what everybody thinks about it is, and what the state thinks about it, and what the circuit court might think about it, and if there's a city ordinance on it, and you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, we all know what's right and wrong, but what's right and wrong gets severely distorted when we talk about what's legal and illegal. And I just like to be armed with all of the knowledge that I possibly can about what Master's special spells say you can and can't do. Legislation. Stop getting out of jury duty. Amen.
Sure it was. He was on a easement. See in, yeah. We'll see it. We'll see in court.
Oh, now he's mad again. Now he's mad again. Look at this. This is shocking. Someone let this man kidnap this guy. Never mind. I'm going to stop there.
We'll see in court.
He's pissed. This man is a loose cannon. Look at him. There's no reason for him to run after this guy and attack him.
We'll see it. We'll see in court.
All of a sudden, he just decides, I'm going to attack you. He says, don't run. You didn't say, hey, you're under arrest. Hey, you're detained. You just started coming at me. Now, it is a natural reaction. There are two natural reactions for somebody coming at you and attacking you, okay? Natural reactions. I'm talking involuntary. That it just, boom, you didn't think about it beforehand. It was just, holy shit. I'm sorry, no more cussing. Holy crap, this guy is trying to attack me. There are two, fight or flight. There you go. Fight or flight. You don't think about it. You just do it. His first instinct was flight. Okay, it wasn't, hey, I'm going to run from a police officer, which is a violation of Master's codes and statutes. It was, holy crap, a violent thug is running at me. I'm going to run away because I don't want to put a bullet in his head. Right?
See in court.
Sorry, Nick Bartolo, according to law, even if it's proved that you were falsely arrested, you can still be charged with and convicted of resisting arrest. Wow, that's disgusting, Nick. I know you're just the bearer of bad news. You're not the tyrant, but gosh, that is disgusting. Ugh.
Don't run. You run. Let's go.
Don't run.
Get down. Get down. Get up. Get up.
Whoa, this guy is an idiot. Now, as soon as he says you're under arrest, he stops. He appears to be moving away, and then as soon as he says, don't run, you're under arrest. As soon as he says you're under arrest, he stops, and then he can't decide what he wants. Get down, get down, get up. Get up, get up, get down, get up. No, not get down. No, get up again.
Resisting arrest. Get down.
Resisting arrest.
Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up.
What is it? Now you got backup coming.
That's called evading police.
Now, I have never seen an effective way to deal with this man except for one thing. And I'll show you. I'll show you the last video, which we're not even going to get to the end of because it's attempting to elude. Can you link the video? I will. As soon as this is over, I'm going to put links to all the videos in the description. For some reason, it doesn't let me do it at the beginning.
Do you have anything else on you?
Do you have anything else on you? This guy is disgusting. He's filthy. He's dangerous. And he doesn't care at all what the law is. Okay? This guy is making no attempt whatsoever to enforce law. No attempt whatsoever. Now, this guy will be out tomorrow doing the same thing. All right? He'll be out tomorrow doing the same thing. Now, I'm going to show you the last video that I have here. I was going to show you mine, but I'm going to skip this one because this has already gone way too long. But I'm going to show you the last video for the night. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing because YouTube deems the content to be inappropriate for most audiences. So I'm not going to show you the whole thing. And this is the most important one that I put in the description for you, because I can't even send you a direct link. I have to copy this and put it in the description. Okay? This is the only time I have ever seen somebody do something that stopped police from violating their rights. Oh, come on. Oh, I understand and wish to proceed. This is the only time I've ever seen anybody do anything that stopped police from violently attacking them and stopped police from violently attacking the next person. Maybe I will just play the whole thing all the way through. You guys want to see the whole thing? I'm going to warn you beforehand. They may just shut down the stream. It is incredibly graphic. Okay? This video is about 15 minutes long. Now, the difference, too, between this video and the videos you've been watching, that we've been watching tonight, is that the videos that we've been watching, there's no doubt in anybody's mind whatsoever that the victims being attacked by the police, delete VOD after. I may just do that, the Moto Maniac. Yeah, I may just do that, and I'll put links to all the videos that I showed tonight, actually, in my community post. You guys all know how to get to the community post? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show the whole video, and then the links that I'm promising you guys won't be there because the video will be gone. So the links that I promised you guys are going to be posted as a community post, all right? Now, the difference between this video and the videos that we have just watched is that in the videos that we've just watched, there's no question in anybody's mind at all whatsoever that the victims, people recording police activity or government activity, there's no question in anybody's mind that they weren't doing anything illegal or unlawful in any way whatsoever. I know what he's going to show here. Yeah, ex-bootlicker. In this particular case, there's definitely argument that the police had stopped somebody who was doing something illegal. Those illegal acts being alleged failure to yield. The cop alleges that he pulled out in front of him, that this we're going to call him, I don't know what to call him, the non-badged guy. I don't want to call anybody a suspect or a victim. Like the guy never, I don't know what the conclusion is. Star of Texas, remember the Branch Davidians and Lavoie, Ruby Ridge? Yes. So the allegations are that this guy failed to yield or allegedly pulled out in front of a cop car, and that he did not have current registration. And if I'm not mistaken, this happened in June, I believe, when government offices were shut down and people were having a very difficult time getting registration for their cars. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive that that's when this video was from. So at any rate, though, the allegations, failure to yield, no, he did not cause an accident, but he's accused of pulling out, then you're suspect. And not having registration. This guy also has a record of being arrested for narcotics charges, but those charges were dismissed. Just my 2.0. Please do not get me burnt out, my friend. I know this is going way too long. Don't forget, audience, your hero Trump kept AJ William Barr, Attorney General William Barr, who was responsible for. Don't forget, audience, your hero Donald Trump kept Attorney General William Barr, who was responsible for Ruby Ridge. Yeah, the Moto Maniac. There is the left versus right has got to stop. It's there are politicians, there are people who believe that they have the right to rule other people, and there are those of us who are being ruled. There is no left versus right, okay? It's the rulers versus the ruled. And every single person watching this stream is most likely the ruled, with the exception of those who are paid to watch it because they're FBI agents or police officers. With the exception of you guys, almost everyone in this stream is the ruled. And I don't care if you try to tell me that you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or you're whatever it is you're going to claim to be. You are a slave. And so if you claim to be a Republican, you're a slave, and so is the Democrat. Okay? They want you guys to fight among each other to take away from what really matters, and that's that they're crapping on all of you. This is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 29th, 2020. Yeah, so it is 3:06 a.m. Officer Zarkishin stopped David Ware after he failed to yield when pulling onto a roadway, made an illegal left turn, and operated a vehicle with expired tags. So the failure, I mean, this is actually, even under Master's laws, quite questionable. Failure to yield, I mean, I don't know, because the cops said he pulled out too much in front of him. And the tag issue, once again, government offices were closed. You couldn't get new tags. After 17 minutes later, suspect Ware fired multiple rounds at officers. Sergeant Craig Johnson died as a result of injuries from the shooting. Officer or whatever was critically wounded and continues to recover. Suspect Hero Ware, pulled onto the roadway in front of officer. Okay, do you guys see that? So this is the failure to yield. You guys see it? Later on, he's going to claim that this guy ran a red light to his sergeant. He's going to tell his sergeant that he ran a red light. As you can see, there's no red light there. The light is up another block. So he's claiming, oh, I had a green and this guy pulled out in front of me. There's no light. Proper lane. Yeah, he did claim that too. Lane control. If you're a statist, yeah. I get those points right there. You're supposed to pull into the first lane, right? So you're supposed to pull into that left lane. But he didn't. He pulled into the right lane.
David, my final stop's going to be 2000 South 89th East.
We're going to skip through it a little bit just to try to get to...
Yes, sir.
Hey, roll that window all the way down, man. The reason why I stopped you is because turned out right in front of me as I'm coming. And on top of that, you have an expired tag. Yeah.
My tag's not expired. I just haven't got it tagged yet. I just bought the
your
car.
paper tag's expired, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it had 2 months.
No.
Okay, well.
You got an ID on it?
Yes. I just jackpotted at the casino. I was excited. My house is like right here, man.
Gotcha. Well, do you have your ID and your insurance?
He said, I just jackpotted at the casino. I was really excited. My house is right around the corner, man. He's about to jackpot again. I just jackpotted at the casino. I was really excited.
This might be out of date, but I am up to date on my insurance. I just don't know.
Gotcha. What has your VIN on it? Is that title?
Huh?
Does that title have your VIN on it?
Yeah.
All right, let me get that too.
David Bourne says this was an awesome video. For those of you watching, this stream will disappear as soon as it's over.
Driver's license?
Yeah.
I will remove this stream as soon as it's over.
Just jackpotted, so.
Are you advocating for violence, James? Flounder. No, I'm not advocating for violence. Thanks for bringing that up. Self-defense is a natural right. Okay? I am not advocating for violence, and I strongly encourage people who are initiating violence against others to stop. Stop. Just my 2.0. Preach it, fellow American. It makes no difference of skin color. It gets so much deeper than this chat. I am not advocating for violence. Stop initiating violence against other people.
You good, man?
Huh?
You good? Awful shaky.
Well, yeah.
What I'm saying is, from the beginning, this has dragged out for a long time, but awful shaky, he tries to intimidate him. He tries to make him feel uncomfortable.
You have anything in the car?
There are different ways that different people have dealt with tyrants.
I just need.
No heroin, meth, or anything like that? You have anything in the car?
Huh?
You have anything in the car I need to know about?
No.
Drugs, guns?
I just need.
No heroin, meth, or anything like that?
No, you don't need to know about anything. If you suspect him of an unsafe lane change and not having proper tags, give him a ticket and go on your way. You don't need to know about a damn thing. Okay? That's the end of the story there. And this is why I do the script flip thing.
All right, man.
Like, no.
I'm gonna get your name from you.
You shouldn't just be going around asking people stupid crap like that.
Your picture. What's your first name?
Isn't he drunk? No.
David.
David, yes sir.
Okay. Last name.
Where?
Spell it.
W-A-R-E.
Date of birth.
8/12/87.
Ignorant pleb says nothing in sight. Get his info and get done. This is what happens when you get nosy, says conspiracy against transparency.
Yep.
Lackluster says statism is the most dangerous religion, and lackluster is correct. If you're wondering what lackluster means, just jump into YouTube and type in statism, the most dangerous religion. So he's given his name. It's somewhat censored there.
Is that a house or
Apartment.
what apartment?
Got some big dogs in the chat.
Think that.
Upstate Audits. What's up, Upstate? Statism is a satanic cult, says trash in uniforms. Lackluster is the best. Title of this video playing, you're going to have to search this one, and you're going to have to search it specifically by the title because it is hidden and shadow banned, and it does not even, like most videos on YouTube, it doesn't even have a share button because they don't want it shared. Tulsa police footage shows shooting of 2 officers. You're going to have to type it in very specifically to get it to come up. After the video, I will put a link to the video by actually copying and pasting it into my community section as a post. This live stream will be, the one that I'm streaming right now will be gone. So we got 5 times speed. They already sped it up. We're still going to keep speeding it up. Skipping 5 seconds at a time.
Probably gonna end up coming in. Oh, there's got no.
Okay, so his sergeant shows up.
Probably gonna end up coming in. Oh, there's got no. Time 66. Number 66 car. So going westbound on 21st. That light right over there. Yeah. I have a green light. Just flying down. Just runs in.
Wait a second. You guys heard that part, right? He says, you see that light right down there? I had the green light. He comes flying down and just runs it. And I pointed that out at the beginning of the video, right? That he did not come out at the light. The light was a block away. Where he came out, there was no light. Right? So he just told his sergeant that the reason for the stop is that this guy ran a red light. That is the reason for the stop. That's a lie. There was no light.
No driver's license, anything like that.
And let me point this out also. A lot of times when we're dealing with cops and we cuss in our video or in the interaction that happens, they say, a lot of lawyers will say, oh, well, I can't take that to a jury because you said the F word. Did you hear what this cop just said?
Right. No driver's license. For me, I have to slam on my brakes. I'm like, right. No driver's license.
You know?
He didn't have a license on him. He has no insurance for the vehicle. And
Now, I don't know if he has a license or if he just doesn't have all this stuff on him. I don't know. Just from, trying to be fair to every side. I don't know if it's that he doesn't have a license or if he doesn't have it on him. He did say he just bought the car.
No, even on the traces screen. Yeah. Just one person in the car. Yeah. All right, David. Said you have a driver's license? You said you have a driver's license?
So something's jacked up with the audio and the video here.
Yes, I just.
Okay. Well,
Sorry about that.
Here's the deal. So,
One jackpot, so they had my
yeah,
license.
but I'm not worried about the jackpot right now.
So he says he has a license. He's at the casino. He just won a jackpot, so he had to use it to, probably claim his jackpot. I don't know, I guess. But he's claiming he has a license.
So what I need you to do is step out of the vehicle.
And the thing is that this cop knows whether he has a license or not. He's got his name. He actually knows exactly who he is. Because I don't remember if you saw it right there or if he says it later, but he tells his sergeant that this guy has a previous drug charge, which, by the way, was dropped. So he knows exactly who he is. This cop knows whether he has a license or not. I don't. And the cop will lie.
One more time. Do you have anything in the vehicle that I need to know
Why
about?
are you shining at my face? I mean,
So I can see
I'm
in the
trying to
car.
talk to you, but you're shining at my
Because you've got a history of narcotics.
I know.
I'm not going to... Eric says, I'm not going to cuss anymore. I am going to use non-cuss words like F and G and holy cow and gosh darn. Eric, I kind of like that, man.
Because I have a history. Can I get
Really, let's be honest, Eric. It's the same thing. Like, what is the word? It's an interjection. It's like I'm angry. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could say F or you could say brownies. Like, some cop arrests somebody and you, instead of saying F you, I mean, you just, brownies you. Like, I mean, it doesn't, what's the intent? It's, I'm upset at what you're doing. But once you say that F word, everybody's just, oh.
my chicken and fucking go, man?
Well, all right,
Dude, I
here's
know
what's
your
going to happen.
fucking rights, dude. Can I just get my ticket and go, dude?
Here's what's gonna happen.
I pulled in front of him. I'm sorry.
Hey, David.
I'm just trying to go to
David.
my house, man.
David.
I got people waiting on me. dude.
David. Stop talking.
The intent is still the same. Right.
What are you fucking saying? It's bullshit.
Drug paraphernalia, narcotics, whatever it is.
But don't expect everyone to understand that, right?
Got
Charles getting
dropped.
told.
That got dropped.
Charles getting
I'm
told.
not
Step out of the car.
convicted.
Okay, so now he's saying, David, you've got drug charges. And he says that got dropped. So now the reason they want to get into this guy's car is because allegedly the reason is because they had prior drug charges on him that got dropped. Is this cop upset about that? Hey, what's up, Justin Pulliam? It's the same effing thing, says Eric Brandt.
Hang
on, step
Can't take some bullshit. Don't fucking open my door.
Step out of the car, dude.
David, step out of the vehicle. Come on.
This is bullshit, dude.
That's fine. You wouldn't be here.
Also, I don't know what drug paraphernalia means. I don't know if it means meth or marijuana or I don't know what it means.
Didn't pull out in front of a cop car while I got a green light, dude.
I pulled out in front of you. I had plenty of fucking room. This
Step out
is
of the car.
bullshit.
Step out of the car.
And again, he says you pulled out on a red light. We saw at the beginning of the video, he did not pull out at a light.
I'm stepping out of the car.
Step out of the car.
And people are told, dude, just take your charge and argue in court. People are tired of it. Look at the false charges that are slapped on people every day. It's not like it's just easy peasy. I feel a jackpot coming on, says Patrick Smith. Yes, Patrick, I believe that's what's going to happen. But it is not just easy peasy for this man, especially if he's a working man or has a family or anything else going on in his life, to just, willing, no big deal. Hey, man, just go fight this in court for the next 2 years. Hire a lawyer, spend somewhere between $5,000 and $20,000 to defend this false charge. Yeah, it's not that easy. No, you're genuinely harming this guy simply by doing this to him, okay? By trying to summon him into court on some bull crap charges. You are causing harm to him. Irreparable harm. He will never win a lawsuit on this, very likely. Highly unlikely he will ever win a lawsuit and ever recover any of the damages that are about to be done to him.
I'm right here. I'm the sergeant. He's asking you to step out of the car.
I'm not stepping out of my car.
You have two choices. You can step out under your own power, or
This is bullshit, dude. I just got this car.
Okay.
Why can't you give me a fucking chance, dude? Like, fuck.
well, why don't you step out of the car and let us talk about it instead of sitting here?
I know my rights. I know how
Okay,
this
right
works.
now,
Y'all are gonna fucking. I know how this works.
here's the deal. Right now, you're driving a car that's over 60 days due on the tag.
I'll get a tag.
You don't have insurance.
I do have insurance.
Where is it? But
Y'all can look it up. Y'all can look it
we
up.
can if you haven't got a tag, but we need you to step out of the car.
Now.
You have two choices.
I don't know, guys. Am I wrong? Is this not something you just cite him for and leave?
You can step out of the car.
Even under the status spells, don't you just give him a ticket?
For not complying and getting out of the car. Where are we at? Look, hey, step out of the car now.
Okay, so the video and audio is jacked up. So you guys heard that. At this point, he's being tased, but the video is not there. So sorry about that.
Do you want to get tased?
Why are you doing this?
Because you're refusing to follow a lawful order. I need you to step out of the car. It is a lawful order, and I will tase you if you do not get out of the car.
Pan Outdoor Diary says you should take this off. You said so many great things. Yeah, but once we get to the end of this video of what happens here, YouTube is going to take it off. So the other option is to end the stream and do a new stream with just this part, because after somebody actually stops a tyrant from breaking the law, this video is gone then. These officers played a dumb game, and it looks like they will win a dumb prize, says the Moto Maniac. I've showed you all these videos of tyrants being tyrants and people trying to stop them from being tyrants within the system and that failing. And now I'm going to show you a video of a tyrant being a tyrant, and this guy is actually going to stop this guy from being a tyrant. And when this guy is done, the tyrant will never, ever, ever, ever terrorize anybody ever again. And therefore, this video and this stream is going to be gone. That's the way it goes.
You have a choice. Get out of the car under your own power, or I am the supervisor. I'm a sergeant.
Hey, dude, just step out of the car right now. Otherwise, you are getting tased.
Do I need to arc it one more time?
What?
Step out of the vehicle now.
I don't have to.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Oh, I did a driving infraction.
Yeah, and I told you already you need to get out of
Patrick Smith says, yeah, unfortunately, the Constitution already didn't work. Already didn't work. Are you telling me that the writings on paper were ignored?
Why?
You need to step out. I'm about done arguing with you.
About done. From what I've seen too, let me mention this also. When the police argue with you for a period of time about what's going on, it's usually because they know that what they're doing is wrong, even by their rules and their standards. It usually means because they don't have a conscience for the most part. Most of these cops don't have a conscience at all. And so, like, they're not going to have a conflict in beating the crap out of you if they think that you know, the legislation is going to have their back. But in this particular instance, just like a lot of others where they argue for a long period of time, they want the voluntary compliance because they really actually know that they're probably doing something that they shouldn't. And if they don't get the voluntary compliance and they do use force, they might actually get in trouble for it. Because what they're doing is probably actually illegal, even according to Master's codes and statutes.
I have to tase you. No, if I have to tase you, it is going to be that much worse.
Sir, can I please just go home?
Right now, I can arrest you for obstruction because you're failing to follow a lawful command. Step out of the car. I cannot be any more clear than that. If you step out and be cool, this will go a whole lot better than if you make me tase you and force you out of the car.
Make me tase you. And again, let's go back. I mean, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting, but multiple different perspectives. From the voluntarist perspective, he hasn't harmed anyone. He just hasn't.
Of the car.
And this guy wants to do violent things to him.
One more time.
You're violating my rights. That's by force and fear.
Then,
You're
okay,
violating my
look,
right.
you got your law degree?
I don't have a law.
Then shut up and get out of the car.
You're violating my rights by force and fear. I don't know where you got your law degree.
I am the supervisor.
These people are trying. These people are. Help somebody.
Yeah, the video does not align with the audio. Is that because I skipped around so much, or is it normally like that?
Are you going to get out or am I going to tase you? Are you going to get out of the car or do I tase you?
I'm not.
Get out of the car.
Danger, please.
He's putting on gloves.
Then get out of the car.
Please, sir.
That's it. Step out. Come on.
Oh, the guy that's tasing him is on the other side, huh? Is that why?
Call the supervisor, please.
see
He's the
this?
supervisor.
Taser's coming from the other side, huh?
Well, she's not here. That would be the captain. Step out of the car. Now.
I hear the taser.
Please.
Hey, don't be
Oh, okay, the taser button is to intimidate him. Got it.
Dude, get off the phone now. Hang up, dude. We're gonna. That's it.
Now this is an excellent move. This is an excellent move. Hey, dude, I got a couple of violent thugs who are trying to attack me. Come help me. Come help me, please. This guy doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want a physical altercation. He just won a jackpot. He already said it. He's happy. He's excited. He just wants to go home. Hell, you want to give him a ticket? He's probably even going to give you the money. He probably won't even fight it. All right? He doesn't want a violent altercation. He just wants to leave. But these guys are being violent. He gets on his phone and he starts calling his buddy.
I'm gonna tase you in 3, 2, 1. Do you want it or not? Step out of the car.
I'm not.
See, there you go. This is how you know the cops know that they're wrong. I'm going to tase you in 3, 2, 1. You ever heard a parent that's just being... I'm sorry, but some parents are, in my opinion, horrible at parenting. And they'll boss their children around just to have control over them. I know, imagine that. Some parents are actually even horrible to their children. But, you know, there are parents who set certain rules and boundaries for reasons for their kids, and then I've seen parents who just set rules for their kids because they're tyrants, just like anybody else. And they'll sit there and they know that they're wrong. The parent knows that they're wrong. And so they'll sit there and they're like, all right, you better eat your vegetables. 1, 2... Dang it, they called my bluff. I'm so full of crap and I have no right to force them to do this. But this is like that horrible parent who knows that they're wrong. And 1, 2.
1. Do you want it?
Do you want it? Do you want it?
Out of the car.
Eat your broccoli.
Step out of the vehicle now.
No, I know my rights.
You know nothing. Get out of the car.
You know nothing. Look at the shit this guy talks. You know nothing. You know nothing. Man, if you are a tyrant to your kids, they'll expect a tyrant in the government when they're grown. You're absolutely right, Patrick Smith. Absolutely right. And this is, man, that is where statism, I think, is ingrained into people. Patrick does an awesome, by the way, you guys see him in the chat. I think it's on Disenthrall, but Patrick has talked about what we call peaceful parenting. And it's, you know, we're sick of tyranny, but where does it really come from? What's the root of it? Well, we taught our kids this. That you get to violently control other people for no good reason except that you arbitrarily feel like it. And they grow up believing that this is okay.
I'm not going to shoot
There
you.
are reasons to, you know, tell people, hey, you can do this and you can't do that. You can't harm others, but you've got to allow other human beings their right to do what they want to do, so long as they're not harming others.
Because you've been given a lawful command to step out of the car.
Lawful command to step out of the car. I don't
Calm down, James. Breathe it out.
The car, or I will tase you and I will drag you.
Matt, please come over here and witness this.
No. Get out of the car.
Buy Dollar General, pull in the
David Allen, where?
PeacefulParentingUniversity.com.
What's his name?
David Anthony
For-
Ware.
David, step out.
Matt, pull up.
Step
If
out
he
of
comes
the
over here,
car.
he's
If
in
he
trouble
comes,
too. Matt, be smart. Do not come here.
David,
Videotape it, please.
3, then you need to step out. You can turn on your own camera, but you're on both of our cameras. Step,
Stopping infraction.
David,
Write me my ticket.
David, step out of the car. I'm not going to tell you again.
Hit
Get
him.
out of the car now.
Hit him.
It's a driving infraction, please, sir.
Get out of the car because I have to tow it.
Man, what an excellent. This David is, it's David, right? You just said it. What a patient man. What an incredibly patient, non-violent individual.
And I can't tow it with you in it.
You don't have to tell me.
Get out.
I do. I told you I'm towing it.
Bullshit. Why?
Because
Get
you
out
don't
of
have
the
your driver's
car.
license, you don't have insurance, and
You
your
don't have
tax
a
bill for
license
60
and
days
you don't have
expired.
insurance.
David, step out of the car.
You have it. Let me look for it.
Eric Brandt says, so now the truth comes out. They're going to tow the car. But Eric, earlier, I don't know why I missed it, but earlier he was saying, yeah, he has a prior drug infraction, and so I want to search the car for drugs. That's why they want him out of the car. They don't even have reasonable suspicion that he has drugs in the car. They actually talked about and colluded about, well, how are we going to search the car? And he says, well, I guess I can tow it based on this. And that's how we'll get in it to search it. And why do they want to get in it to search it? Well, because he has a prior drug infraction that was dismissed. It was dropped. That's why all of this is happening. They want to search his car, and this is their reason for doing it. Well, if we tow it, we have to do what they call inventory.
Get out of the car and I will find it.
Y'all, this is my car, y'all.
Taser! I'm gonna hit him. Are you ready?
Okay, so here, this was obviously put up by a status, but it says prior to taser deployment, let's change that. Prior to taser deployment, Hero Ware was given over 40 lawful commands to exit the vehicle. Over 40 lawful commands to exit the vehicle.
Get out of the car!
Fuck you, dude.
Oh! Fuck! Get out of the car!
Listen to the anger and the rage in these cops' voices. You get out of the car and I will find it. Yep, the search is the motive. Listen to the rage. The rage. I mean, these guys are just filled with hate and anger and a desire to do harm to their fellow men.
Hey, are you ready?
Ready?
Fuck! Get out of the car!
Fuck you, dude.
Oh! Fuck! Get out of the car! Get out!
Fuck! Dude, what the fuck?
Get out of here.
Taser deployment was ineffective, and Hero David.
Get out! Now!
I'm getting out.
Get out of the damn car! Now, or I will spray you!
Fucking ground.
On the ground!
On the ground, man. I don't...
David is the most patient, peaceful individual I have probably ever seen dealing with a violent attack.
Why are they going to jail, fuck?
Get out of the car!
Now they're spraying him with mace.
Get out! Now! I will spray you again!
Okay.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground. Get on the ground now! On the ground!
David just wants to go home.
Stop! Stop! Please!
Get out of the fucking car!
Why are you doing this?
Get out!
Why are you doing this? Please stop! No! No!
Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Now he's kicking him.
Matt, please help!
So now his friend has arrived. His friend is driving up. They're kicking him. They're spraying him. They're violently attacking him. After what, 15 minutes of him peacefully sitting there begging to just be left alone. Please, just leave me alone. I haven't hurt anybody. Just let me go, please. Don't attack me.
Please help! Stop! You're fighting!
David,
Stop!
get out of
The accomplice Matthew Hall. No, he came to accomplice in what?
Stay in the car!
Matt, help!
Left arm.
Help!
I got this arm.
Matt, help! Help! Help!
Get out of the car!
Help!
Even in gear. David, you want to get sprayed?
David, do you want to get sprayed? David, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2. Seriously, David. We want to hurt you and you should let us.
Car! Get out!
Unbeknownst to the officers, the suspect is retrieving a gun from under his seat. Yeah, the audio is definitely messed up from the video here because right now these cops are getting shot in the face. The attackers are being shot in the face. For a split second, you can see the gun in the suspect's right hand. Now it shows from the dash cam, they're violently attacking him, and then boom, shoots them both. And I've seen a different video because in the other video that I saw, it's a lot more powerful because you hear the audio. You hear the audio from the guy, so he's being attacked by 2 gang members. Patrick Smith says jackpot. He's being attacked by 2 gang members. Guys, 15 minutes. He could have, if he wanted to fight, if he wanted to hurt somebody, he could have pulled out that gun and shot that cop in the face the moment he walked up to his car, right? If he was looking to hurt people, he could have killed the cop the moment he walked up to his car. That's not what he was looking for. He didn't want to fight. He wanted to be left alone. He hadn't harmed anybody. He wanted to go home. In the video that I saw, this guy right here, this cop right here, you see he's been shot at least once. He's on the ground. David turns again because the violent attacker is now reaching for his gun. And David turns and unfortunately has to continue to stop the threat and has to continue. And it's extremely in the last moments. Sorry, are we still live? Did we get booted off the internet yet? It's extremely powerful because in those last moments, you hear that violent attacker make the final noises that he will ever make in his mortal life. And after that moment, that violent attacker has never, ever, ever, ever again violently attacked anybody else. It's never happened again. Never. I checked. I went and I checked. I looked. And he is actually no longer. No. One of the cops, the sergeant, died. And you say cops, but really they weren't even acting as cops, right? The sergeant died. And I went and checked, and he's no longer. The dead sergeant is no longer working for the Tulsa Police Department. And I went and checked, and he actually has never, ever, ever violently attacked anybody else since that day. If you guys correct me if I'm wrong, you guys can go and look it up. Let me grab his name for you again. You guys can go look it up, but I've not seen that sergeant violate anybody's rights ever again. I can't take either side on this. That's fine. And like I said, this was different than all the other videos that I showed you tonight, because in this one, there is some debate about whether David broke one of Master's codes and statutes or not. And so that debate, that debate can be on the table. But with all the previous videos that I showed you tonight, I've shown you that these violent attackers don't have to have a code or statute violated for them to violently attack you, right? And absolutely no lawsuits. My internet took a dump during the shooting. Yeah, I think the stream went down during the shooting. And YouTube will take this stream down no matter what anyways. I'll actually take it down. And I'll put the links to all these videos in the community section. So yeah, sure, there's a debate to be had there. What do you got? But in all of these cases where people don't defend themselves, there's not even a debate to be had about whether or not the cops had the right to use violent force against somebody. So anyways, there you go, guys. That's I don't know what you think of that stream. But as I was going through everything that I've ever done, and don't get me wrong, I will never do what David did. This is what it sounds like when pigs cry. I will never do what David did. That's just not, I was telling another friend earlier tonight that self-defense is it is a natural reaction at a point when a living person is backed into a corner. An animal, a human, fight or flight comes into play, right? And a lot of people, the answer is flight. If you look at David's scenario, whether he broke a code or statute or not, at the point where he's being violently attacked, fight or flight comes into play. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but is it not a natural reaction for somebody who's been backed into a corner and feels that they have absolutely no other way to, they stop thinking, right? And they start just acting on self-preservation right there in the moment, right? That's all. There's not really a thought process, I don't think. I think it's kind of just, unless you've predetermined and pre-thought out, okay, when the police violently attack me, I'm going to submit and go limp. Unless you've predetermined and pre-thought that out, I don't think it's natural to do what I do and what others do, to just go limp when you're attacked. It doesn't feel natural at all, actually. I've had to train myself to say, all right, when they attack you, just go limp and let them do it. Because it's not normal. It's not natural. My chats went away too. Hard to think when you were pepper sprayed. Whether he was on drugs is irrelevant. Lots of stuff that can be discussed here. But at any rate, and that's the first time that I saw this video, it was shared with me. It was shared by a friend, and he was saying, if there is a case that comes about where it's determined that you have a right to use deadly force against a violent attacker, even if that violent attacker has a badge, I think this might be that case. The question that comes into play, of course, is going to be, was the attack lawful or not, though? And I think that there's some gray area there. And so this may not be the case where it's determined whether or not you have the right to defend against a violent attack. Anyways, thanks for watching with me tonight. No, I won't resort to self-defense, but I've told cops before when I've dealt with them. I'm sure you guys have heard me say it. I'm the nice guy. Even when I'm cussing at you, Eric Brandt is the nice guy. Even when they're cussing at you and yelling at you and whatever it is, like, we're not going to defend ourselves. We're not going to attack you, and we're not going to defend ourselves when you attack us. You should probably deal with us, because the people that are inevitably going to come after us, and you can expect more people to come after us who are sick and tired of it and fed up with it and don't have the self-control that we do, because it's the natural order of things. Once you pushed so hard, people are going to push back. And so I've told cops before, you should deal with me, because the people that come after me, you're not going to want to deal with, because they're not going to be as patient and nice as I am. And I'll tell you, I'll be running for the hills when that happens. I'm honestly not going to be a part of that fight. I'm not saying that anybody is wrong for doing it, but I'm not going to be a part of it. Interesting story. Interesting case. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night.